You've been using AI long enough now that you've probably noticed something. It works fine for simple things, but when you try to hand it something that actually matters, something complex, something that requires real judgment, it comes back generic, perhaps flat, maybe not quite right. It has taken me 20 years of teaching and hundreds of hours of building, breaking, and testing AI systems to realize that the people who struggle most with AI aren't the ones who know the least. They're often the ones who know the most. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why that happens and what to do about it. So, if you've ever felt like your AI should be performing better than it is, stick around, because the fix is probably not what you think it is. Here's what's actually happening. You've spent years building expertise. You know what good work looks like. You know what to check, what to skip, when something's done, and when something only looks done. But that knowledge is mostly invisible, even to you. You don't consistently walk through it anymore. It's instinct at this point. And when you sit down with an AI agent, you suddenly realize you're not actually very good at explaining how you do what you do. That's the gap. Not installed versus not installed, not prompted versus not prompted. It's the gap between what's in your head and what you've managed to get out of it. And here's the counterintuitive part. The more experienced you are, the worse this problem gets. Early in your career, everything was explicit. You followed processes. You checked lists. You asked questions. You did it step by step because you had to. Then you got good. And when you get good, the process disappears. It becomes instinct, pattern recognition, internal standards that you couldn't easily write down if someone asked you to. That's what experience actually is. Compressed, internalized judgment. Which is also exactly why your AI keeps coming back generically disappointing. It's not working with your judgment. It's working with whatever partial description you gave it at the start. And that description is almost always incomplete. Not because you're bad at explaining things, but because half of what makes you effective has become automatic, second nature. Now, what I'm about to say, you've probably heard it in another video of mine, and you're hearing it here because it's just that important. And in this video, there's more to it. One of the best things you can do with Claude Cowork first is to ask it to interview you before you ask it anything else. Not as a trick, not as a workaround, because an interview is how you get the hidden workflow out. When Cowork asks you the right questions, what's the recurring frustration? What does done actually look like? What information do you check before deciding? What usually goes wrong? You start articulating things you've never had to articulate before. And once it's out, it's usable. The version of you that just sat down and said, "Help me with my work," gave Claude almost nothing to go on. The version of you that just answered 15 questions about how you actually operate, that version gave Claude something it can actually use. And if you're coming over from ChatGPT, this works there too. Run the interview in ChatGPT first. Pull out what it already knows about you and bring that into Claude. You don't have to start from scratch. So, what should Claude be asking you about? Here's what actually matters. And as I run through these 4 areas, can you envision the answers? 1. Your operating rhythm. What does a real week look like? Not the calendar version, the actual version. What takes longer than it should? What you're always slightly behind on. 2. Your recurring decisions. What judgment calls do you make over and over? What are the easy ones? What are the hard ones? What information do you need before you can decide? 3. Your definition of done. What does finished actually look like for the work that matters most? What's the difference between done and done right? 4. Your recurring friction. What are the things that are technically your job but feel like they eat time without adding much? Those 4 things, rhythm, decisions, standards, friction, that's where useful automation starts. So here's a practical starting point for Claude Cowork. Instead of trying to write the perfect instruction, say this: Claude, I want you to interview me. Ask me one question at a time. Help me uncover what I actually do, what slows me down, what decisions I make, what my standards are, and what parts could be handled better. Don't move on until you understand my answer. That's it. And you can get these exact words in the description below. From that conversation, you can build something that's actually shaped around how you work. A morning brief, a meeting prep system, a weekly planning routine, an email workflow, whatever the friction point is. But you cannot skip the conversation. The conversation is the setup. So, before I give you the exact prompting to enter into Cowork, if you like this video so far or found it helpful, please give it a like or leave a comment. It really helps the channel. Also, subscribe if you would like to see more content like this. So once you've had this conversation, the next question most people ask is, where does all of this go? Here's how I would think about this in 2 steps. First, run the interview. I put the exact prompt in the description so you don't have to write it yourself. And for you power users, I created a PDF for you with a bit extra on the interview. Check it out. Second, capture what comes out. I also put together an additional guide called the Portable AI Working Identity that shows you how to turn that conversation into a document you own and can use anywhere, across any tool, any platform, any new chat. That's also free in the description. The interview gets the knowledge out, the document gives it somewhere to live. Those 2 things together change what you can ask Claude to do. One more thing before you go. Once you've got your interview completed, the possibilities become almost endless. For more help like this, click this video right here.